In 2008, United States Senator Pocahontas, a.k.a. Elizabeth Warren, set up a secret federal agency. Now, we say secret not in the sense that nobody knows about it, but it's secret in the sense that she set up the organization with the help of Barack Obama under the Federal Reserve Board. Why would she do that? Well, because the Federal Reserve Board is not a government entity. It's a private entity. So she established this government agency. She put it under a non-government entity. Why would she do such a thing? Because if it's not under government authority, then it doesn't have to abide by government rules and regulations. For example, salary. You know, the federal government has salary caps. And even though federal government workers tend to earn a lot more than their private sector counterparts, still there are caps in place. Well, what if you want to go above those caps? Well, then the federal agency that you create, thank you, Elizabeth Warren, has got to be placed somewhere outside the federal government. Where would you put it? I know, let's put it under the Federal Reserve Board. Good going. Okay, let's go over to dailycaller.com where we found this story. And it says Warren, a.k.a. Pocahontas, deliberately placed the agency inside the Federal Reserve Board. As a result, here's the kicker. The salaries there do not have to conform to the pay scale set for federal workers at all other departments and agencies. Okay, let's go up and take a look at an example. A total of 198 employees of this agency called the Consumer Financial Protection Board. A total of 198, nearly 200 of the employees earn more than their ultimate boss, Federal Reserve Chairman Janet Yellen, who is paid $201,700. So there are nearly 200 employees of this secret agency that earn over $200,000, earn more money than Federal Reserve Chairman Janet Yellen. What is this organization? Well, let's take a look real quick, and there's a reason why we're doing this. This is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Okay, we aim to make consumer financial markets work for consumers, responsible providers, and the economy as a whole. Now, here's the key word. We protect consumers from unfair, deceptive, or abusive practices and take action against companies that break the law. Sounds good to me. We arm people with the information, steps, and tools they need to make smart financial decisions. Okay, we got it. Now, here's a question. Who's going to protect those very same consumers? Who's going to protect them from Elizabeth Warren? Who's going to protect them from Pocahontas? Who's going to protect them from the federal government? Is there an agency out there? Well, there are rules to protect us from overpaying government officials. But Pocahontas went outside the rules. Call it a big old loophole if you want. So who's going to protect us against Pocahontas? Okay, let's scroll up and take a look at this. We're not going to read the whole thing, but this is an article by Richard Pollock, and it says, pay is flowing so generously at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau that hundreds of bureaucrats there receive more than most members of Congress. For example, the Senate majority and minority leaders are paid $193,000 annually. Man, that's a lot of money, but they're top executives in the country, so I guess they deserve a decent salary. But he says 201 employees of Pocahontas' secret organization earn more money than Mitch McDonald and Charles Schumer. Speaker of the House Paul Ryan of Wisconsin gets paid $223,000 a year for being what he is, the Speaker of the House. 54 federal employees at the CFPB earn more than that. Why did Pocahontas do this? Why did she put it under the Federal Reserve Board? So they didn't have to abide by the salary caps. In other words, well, who's paying their salary? Consumers. We're consumers. Well, they're the same people who pay taxes. Consumers, taxpayers, we're all the same people. It's not like there's one group of consumers and another group over here that pays taxes. We're all the same. So if you're screwing over consumers, you're screwing over taxpayers. So Elizabeth Warren set up this organization to protect consumers, but to screw over taxpayers. They're the same people. Another 170 CFPB employees earn more than the Secretaries of Defense and State, Attorney General, and all Director of National Intelligence, and the Director of National Intelligence. All cabinet salaries are capped at $199,700, but not the Bureau. 39 CFPB employees earn more than $230,000, which is what is paid to Vice President Mike Pence. So you've got 39 employees at this agency, this federal bureaucracy, who are paid more than Mike Pence. And if this were under the umbrella of the federal government, that wouldn't happen. So she put it under the Federal Reserve. Good going. All right. Let's take a look at one more article here. This is from CEI.org. And the question is, how many federal agencies are there? The answer is, depends on who you ask. There are so many federal agencies out there, nobody seems to be able to keep track of them. Now, you can go to Wikipedia and you can actually find a list of federal agencies, but who knows how many of those are accurate? How many sub-agencies are there? It seems that nobody even knows how many federal employees there are. Imagine having a private corporation and you have a human resources department, but they don't know how many employees you have. You'd fire them. Okay, let's scroll down here and take a look at some of these numbers. How many federal agencies exist? Unified Agenda says there's 60. Administrative Conference in the United States says there's 115. FOIA, Freedom of Information.gov. At the Justice Department identifies 215. The United States Government Manual says there are 316. Federal Register Index identifies 257, and Regulations.gov identifies 89. So, how many government agencies are there? I don't know. Do you know? Does anybody know? Does anybody know how many federal agencies there are? Now, keep in mind, what federal agencies do is they create regulations. So you have an unknown quantity of entities, government entities, right this moment creating rules and regulations that we have to abide by. But we don't even know how many agencies there are. How do we know how many laws there are, rules there are, regulations there are that we are supposed to abide by? So how do we know we're not breaking the law? And how do we know some of these regulations aren't conflicting? One agency says you got to do this, and the other agency says you can't do that. Are there any conflicts out there? There's bound to be with that many agencies. But the problem is, nobody actually knows. And then, to make matters worse, there are other agencies who are outside the federal government. There are government agencies outside the federal government, like the, quote, secret agency that was established by Elizabeth Warren. Why did she do that? Is she stupid? Does she not know what she's doing? Is she ignorant? Elizabeth Warren herself earned over $400,000 when she was a college professor. If I remember right, she taught law at, I think it was Harvard. She can't be a stupid person. She has to know what she's doing. So if she knows what she's doing and she's cognitive of her actions, then she must necessarily also be held accountable for what she's doing. It's not like she's not guilty by reason of stupid. She is very guilty, knows exactly what she's doing, and she should not be reelected to the Senate in the state of Massachusetts. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share this on social media. Also, look at the bottom of the video in the lower right-hand corner. There's a little red button down here somewhere. I can't see it, but you can see it, and it says subscribe. If you've not yet subscribed to this channel, we encourage you to do that. What we do here is we defend Western culture. So if you're into that, if you want to defend Western civilization, Western society, Western culture, you, my friend, are in the right place. Click on the subscribe button. Also, leave a comment in the comment section below. Do you think the government is bloated? Do you think Donald Trump is going to actually do something about it? It seems to me that he is. Hopefully, he will do a lot more than he's doing now.
How to subscribe? Click subscribe. Click the bell. Check the box. Save.